Well, the answer to all those questions is an emphatic no. And yet, there's a lot that has changed, including the name. The XUV 300's facelift is now called the XUV 3XO. And that's the first time, probably in the world, that we see the name of a facelift being changed completely. The XUV 3XO will be identifiable from a distance because of this element at the rear. The LED tail lamp. Look at that. It runs the width of the entire car, and that basically makes it look like a wider car as well. Now remember, this is the widest of the subcompact SUVs in the market currently, and this just enhances it. Of course, you have the XUV 3XO badging here as well. All that said, there is also a bit of a subtle element that you get here, the diamonds that you see on the side. Well, that element and that design element is so subtle that it's throughout the car. And yes, you'll get to see it almost everywhere. Even here, the roof rails and this. These are the two places that I have shown you. Maybe you can find some more. Yes, even in the front. The C-shaped LED DRLs are the signature, and you get halogen headlamps on the base variant and LEDs on the top. The black grille with the chrome element is a bit overdone, I feel. Very pre-facelift Nexonish. But the upright stance and the muscle on the bonnet give it a rugged SUV look. Move to the profile and you'll notice that it's pretty much the same. Very XUV 300-like. But there are some changes. New 17-inch diamond-cut alloy wheels are part of the package, and they fill the wheel wells. 16 inches are available on the lower variants, but the stance remains unchanged. But the changes to the inside are something that you expect from a new gen model. Now this is where the big changes have happened, because you know what? It now looks much more elegant, much more opulent, and a dash of technology in here. Otherwise looked very plain. So let's get to it. The 10.25-inch touchscreen infotainment system is here. It's big. It's right there on the dashboard. You also get a 10.25-inch instrument cluster. That is a digital instrument cluster. First time that the XUV 300 family gets it. That too is only available in the top end variant. This, however, is available not as standard but in a level just above the MX1 variant, that is the MX3. That's where you get this as standard from, which is good because it's just one above the base variant. Now, quality of materials is top notch. This, of course, is very soft touch material, right? Even on the dashboard as well. But what really concerns me is this white everywhere. Now, you see these diamond bits here as well, even on the seats. But the whiteness of this part really gets me, because how are you going to clean all of that every day? And that's going to get dirty very quickly, especially in cities like Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, where there's so much construction going on. How are you going to keep that clean? Even the seats, that's the only thing worrying me right now. But other than that, this is a nice place to be in. Good amount of airiness around, good shoulder room for the driver and the passengers as well. What still sticks out as a sore thumb is that this is only adjustable for height and not for reach. So that's one big miss definitely from Mahindra's. The space at the rear seat remains unchanged, and that's also because the wheelbase is the same, 2600 millimeters. But rear AC vents are now available as standard on the car, something that went missing last time around. The boot space is the same, but the high point of the loading lip is still a point of contention. On the features front, there's a big leap because now you get
Adrenox on the XUV 3XO, Mahindra's connected car suite. So, wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, remote start-stop and other functions are now part of the package. However, the cars that were given to us did not have the Apple CarPlay and Android Auto functionality, as Mahindra awaited certification. The company assured us that the cars that will be delivered to customers will have this functionality. But what's interesting is that the Adrenox functionality is offered in a variant below the top end, which makes it accessible, and that's a big leap from Mahindra. It's also taking the plunge when it comes to offering the turbo petrol with a new gearbox.
Now the TGDI engine is not new to the XUV 300. The 1.2 litre engine, that is the turbo petrol version, was introduced earlier as well. What is new is this 6-speed automatic transmission which is sourced from ASIN. Now it lacks that initial acceleration in the zip and the zap mode, but in zoom mode with good amount of acceleration, the power of 129 bhp is available from as low as around 1200 or 1300 rpm, which is great because you need that initial push for this car. Now, having said all of that, the gear changes too are slick. There is no head bob involved in that, so gone are the days of the AMT. In comes the torque converter, which is great and at a good price point as well. You kind of start enjoying the way you drive the XUV 3XO now, because the feedback from the steering too is good. It's well weighed, and every time you put your foot on the accelerator, well, the gearbox responds, especially in zoom mode. It responds quite well. The lack of a flappy paddle gearbox here, well, it hurts you, but it's not that bad. So you do have the option of manually changing gears right here. So that's an option that you have been given. Now, engine noise was always a problem with the XUV 300, and Mahindra says that it has curtailed it to an extent. However, the petrol engine, post 3600, 3700 rpm, you can still hear the noise enter the cabin. It is not good, it is not great, but still it's better than before, and that's what an evolution of a product should be like.
There is a diesel engine as well, but it's been carried forward from the previous model with no changes to the specifications. Mahindra has made some changes to the suspension. It has added a rebound stopper in the top mount to reduce impact up front, and the semi-independent rear suspension also has been improved to provide stability.
Mahindra says a lot has been done to the suspension of the car, and it shows. See, a small speed breaker like that and the car is just steady, which is something that we have come to expect from Mahindra. The ride quality is great, there is no doubt about it. It's just the right balance, and it's just the right way in which it handles all the undulations on the road, the bad roads in fact, and even speed breakers like this. You see that? It's so easy to get over it that you kind of start ignoring them and think that the car can take them in their stride. The steering too is well weighed. It's not lifeless. So even at higher speeds, it is pretty good. But at lower speeds, the weight is probably a bit too much. But it's all right. You can deal with that. It's not a deal breaker for sure. The ride at the back too is pretty good because the co-passengers too are very comfortable there. So yes, overall ride quality is great, and the driving dynamics too, well, they were always good, but this one is just improved.
Mahindra's view about safety has been a talking point a few weeks ago. But with the XUV 3XO, it does not mince its words. The XUV 3XO comes with 6 airbags, ESC, all 4 disc brakes, seatbelt reminder for all, 3-point seat belts for all seats, ISOFIX child seat mounts with top tether among others as standard. Mahindra has also introduced Level 2 ADAS functionality, making it the only subcompact SUV in India to have it. And yes, it works like a charm. The ADAS is of course available only in the top 2 AX5L and AX7L variants. On to the pricing then. Mahindra has won this battle for sure. With prices beginning from 7,49,000 rupees, the XUV 3XO undercuts all its rivals, except for the Renault Kiger and Nissan Magnite. The top end might be slightly costly than the others, but there's so much more on offer, like Level 2 ADAS. With the pricing, Mahindra has not just taken aim at the subcompact SUV space, but even the compact SUV space. Mahindra then has nailed the pricing. It's got the ride and handling bit spot on. And the styling is something that will appeal to a lot of people and sets benchmarks when it comes to feature offerings. Is it now worth buying then? I would say yes. It's a car that is not vying for your attention, but deserves it.